Howdy, y'all. My name is Travis Lee, and today I have the pleasure of walking you through the basics of JobTread. So, for your roofing business, this is going to be a game changer. This thing is built on a Ferrari. It's the fastest construction software out there. You'll really feel this when you're using it every day. When you're in the field, you need it to load very quickly. That's kind of the calling card of our system. But I wanted to focus on some of the main features, which is tracking your leads. We're going to be building estimates, communicating with the client, and of course, sending invoices as well. So let's get straight into it. To start, I'm actually going to go into your settings for just a quick moment, and I want to show you the fact that you can create a web form. This is something that you can embed directly into your website, and the benefit of that, of course, is that it can create customers for us automatically. But I really want to focus on jobs first. So jobs are going to be all of the opportunities that come across your desk. And so any new lead, I would recommend creating as a job. This will make it very easy to report on this in the future to understand, how many projects came in within 2025 and how many of those were converted to won projects and lost projects or potentially unqualified as well. So we kind of start with this spreadsheet style view, which is really fantastic because you can customize the data set. You can change what you're seeing. So I can go in here and modify the columns to see things like who is my salesperson for the job, who is the project manager. Anything that you want to track about these jobs, just know you can through setting up custom fields. Another advantage of custom fields is you can set up really cool views like this, which is called the Kanban. So the Kanban is a organizational style. It is taking your jobs and it's reorganizing them into columns that represent the statuses of your projects. So really cool thing. This is totally custom. So you can customize the statuses for your company, but it's all click and drag. So effectively everything would come through the system as like a new lead, and then you would just click and drag through the sales process. And much of this can be automated with the use of Zapier as well. But I'm going to go and actually create a new job. We're going to do one here for Matthew Couch. He's already in the system, so I can modify some of these details. These are our custom fields I was referring to for before, but I'm going to create the job, and then this is going to give me my job dashboard. On the left side of the screen, notice you see the financial summary, you see the details about the project, and then you can see who's involved in the bottom left. But in the middle here, we have effectively what is like a Facebook activity feed. So everything that happens, whether it's customer sends a message or I send a proposal, all of that's going to be documented automatically in the feed. Right here in the middle, this is where I can send emails so I can communicate with my internal team, or I can send messages out to the client. On the right-hand side of the screen, we have a map to very quickly get directions to the job site, and we see the weather posted below as well. But really the core of JobTread is going to be found under the budget tab right here. Think of this as your starting point, right? This is where you're going to plug in all your preliminary numbers before you actually send it along to the customer in the form of a proposal. But in the bottom left, this is where we're going to start building it. We can add individual items. These are going to be like your labor costs, your dumpster rental, your field shingles, your ridge vent. Anything that you're spending money on is going to be an item that you add into the estimate, but your groups are your templates, and that's really going to be the goal and what I'll talk more about. But before I do that, I want to add one item just to show you how this works. So I'm seeing kind of preset items. Those are items stored in my catalog on the left-hand side. I could start typing and kind of create new items on the fly, but for the sake of the example here, I'm just going to throw in cedar wood shake, and then I can just update how many squares, and that's going to spit out my total cost as well as the price to the customer. And it's doing it based off a 40% profit margin, but you can certainly adjust that company over company, job over job. From here, I want to highlight one very helpful tool for the roofing industry. You have a bunch of mass actions. So I could select the whole job. I could say, hey, I want to set the total price of the project to $15K, just throwing out a crazy number here. Let's do $150K, make a little bit more money. Click apply, and then that just changes the price of the project. Super helpful for situations where you're working with insurance and Xactimate reports if you just want to match that price. Moving on from here, I really want to focus on groups because this is the value of JobTread. This is how you can build estimates super quickly and get out those quotes as fast as possible. So when you click to add a group, this is going to show all of the options in your catalog. I'm going to pull in this first one here, and you'll notice that this has some preset quantities I can just override and change the value of. Then I also see some that are set to TBD. These are items where I've set up a formula to read from the parameters of the project. So don't be overwhelmed by this. We have some templates here in the global catalog that can help get you started. You can see we have a roofing category right here ready to go. but these are effectively reading from the measurements, aka parameters of the project. So I'm going to save just to kind of lock this in, but I want to show you this parameter list. We've set up a couple basic measurements here, and I could manually type these in, but the coolest part about all of this is the ability to integrate directly with Eagle View or Hover, so you can pull in these measurements automatically. Let me show you what I mean. If I go back to the dashboard, my organization is hooked up to Eagle View, so I can click here, Manage Eagle View Reports, and then I can simply click to add a new report to my project. Because I'm linked with my Eagle View account, I can purchase it directly through JobTread, and effectively, this is going to spit out the file in just a few seconds. So I can click here, I could sort through the entire Eagle View report, and that's automatically saved within your job files. But the coolest part about this is the ability to take the measurements from that report and import it directly into your job's budget. So if I click import here and skip back to the budget, notice all my quantities have been updated based off those measurements. So effectively, I'm done. I have somewhere between a $23,000 job and a $31,000 job. That's because I've also built in selections into this too, which I'll show you in just a moment. So when I'm happy with this, I'm ready to send it along to the customer. Just click plus document. We have a number of different templates that you can work off of here, but I'm going to focus on the proposal for now. And this is going to give me that pretty presentation to the customer where they can see an example of a past project that I've done. I have my cover page here, and then they can see all the details and just know all these numbers and the amount of detail that you're showing here is totally customizable. Just click these eyeballs and you can modify exactly what the customer can or cannot see. I mentioned a moment ago that we have selections built in, so you can actually have groups with multiple choices under it. That's why we have the price range, but the customer effectively can go in here and decide for themselves what they want, and that will update their price. And the reason why I love this is it allows you to give them a lower base price, and then they're the bad guy. They're the one driving up the price of the project based off their expensive taste. So I really, really like this one. This has made our customers a lot of money over time. Notice below, we do have some built-in financing options for the customer, and we also have the ability for you to put in your contract, which are your terms and conditions. So when you're happy with it, everything looks good, you can send it off to the customer directly through email. You can choose to require a signature from multiple individuals if needed, but it's just a matter now of clicking send. When you click send, it's going to mark it as pending, and you'll be able to check if the customer successfully received that email or not. But from the customer's perspective, it's very simple. All they do is receive the email. It's going to look something like this, where it has your logo, your colors, your custom message, and all they do is they click on the link, and automatically they're going to be thrown into the customer portal. This is where they'll receive all the documents you send them, any messages, any files you share with them. They can also communicate directly with you as well, but they can sort through the document. They could, of course, open the files, see what they're buying, choose the most expensive option in this case, and of course, sign here at the bottom as well. So I'm going to sign, click approve. And skipping back to the administrative side, you're going to see this is approved as well. You're going to have that signature documented with a timestamp, and effectively back on the dashboard, now this is a one project with an approved price. So going back to my budget for just a moment, I just wanted to mention this has now set the budget for the job, so I can start tracking my cost against it. This is going to set the price, and then this is going to set the profit projections as well. Beyond the financials of the project, which I really view as the core of JobTread, we have all of the project management tools as well. It's nice we won the job, but now we actually have to run it, right? There's a lot I could talk about here, but I just want to highlight a few key things. In the very top right of the screen, you're going to see the time clock for your guys to clock in and clock out. The cool thing about that is it's automatically going to job cost for you as well. So as they clock into a job based off their hourly burn and rate, it's going to tell you the cost of their time so you can compare budget versus actuals. Also, we have the receipt entry system, so you can have the guys uploading their receipts that someone else within the office can categorize for them. And then we have the daily log function, which I do want to highlight. When you click this button, obviously, you're going to do this in the field most likely, but it's going to tie it to the job. It's going to pull the weather for me automatically. And then I have notes, and it can be as simple as just notes and pictures, and that's it. So I'll put my notes in here, project complete, all gravy, baby. And on my example, I have additional questions. So just know you can ask them additional questions if you want. But then I'm going to go down to the upload feature, which if you're on your phone, it actually just pulls up your camera so you can snap pictures and videos on the fly. So I'm going to save this, and that's going to record that daily log on this job. Maybe not super exciting for this one project, right? Because it's pretty quick jobs that we're doing. But if you look along the left-hand side, you can click on daily logs here, and that's going to show you all the logs across all jobs, which effectively is creating a history of our projects for us. One last tool I wanted to make sure I mentioned before the end of the video is the schedule. So when I go here, by default, it's showing my incomplete tasks, but you have the ability to set up a full company calendar. This is showing everything across all jobs, but you can really silo this as well. So if you wanted to create a sales calendar versus a production calendar, that's what the different colors represent, or different task types. Just know you can apply filters to these tasks, and you can actually look at calendars assigned to specific people too. So this is meant to be kind of a one-stop shop. I really want to highlight the availability view as well. This is really helpful for large teams because it reorganizes the calendar by person, and you can see everything that they're responsible for that week. So we're not very busy right now, apparently, but over every individual day, for example, if I wanted to give Andrew a task here, you would click to add a task on Monday, and then that would add it to his personal calendar. So that is the schedule, and that is effectively what I wanted to show you as far as how you can use JobTread as a roofing company. So in addition to the tools I showed you, of course, there's more, but you also are going to be assigned a person if you choose to sign up with us. In your help desk, you would find their contact information, their calendar, so you can schedule time with them, as well as the contact information for our support team too. We also have everyday live trainings, all of which are recorded. So just know you have a team of people ready to help you, and a bunch of resources in the system ready to go as well. So really excited for the opportunity to work with you. Thank you for watching the video. Have a great day.